When I was 21 years old, the family baldness gene exploded inside my head. I woke up one morning and my pillow was covered in hair. It looked like Bigfoot had coughed up a giant fur ball. I went to the mirror. I didn't like what I saw. I saw baldness, and I saw ears that stick out. My mother tried to put a positive outlook on it, and she said, Davy boy, sure you're going to have great listening skills with ears sticking out like that. I'm 21 years old, Mother. I don't need great listening skills. I need to be able to get a date. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and especially all the follically challenged people here today. Life is going to hand us challenges to deal with. And today I'm going to share with you some personal memories to demonstrate that life's challenges can be turned around to leave the negative behind, to find the positive outlook, the humor, and the inspiration of others. On my wedding day, a 94-year-old woman took my wife and I aside to give us her words of wisdom on marriage. Kids, don't go to bed angry. Communicate. Talk your problems out. I didn't think anything of those words. And then we fast forward to a year later. It's my first wedding anniversary. Picture my wife in the kitchen wearing her silk lingerie, madly ripping open a giant package, wondering what great token of love I had got her. Her brow became furrowed when she saw a wooden stepladder. I opened up some wing nuts. The stepladder flipped over to become a chair. I loosened some more wing nuts. The back of the chair, it flipped up to become an ironing board. She seemed to get focused on the fact that I was giving her an ironing board as a wedding anniversary gift. And that night, I was still in the doghouse. She was unusually quiet, and she was wearing flannel pajamas for the first time. I remembered the words from the 94-year-old, and I went to my wife and I said, I am so sorry, I'm such an idiot, I'm an engineer, forgive me. And that night, we talked, we laughed, and I learned that appliances, tools, and pseudo-ironing boards, they don't make good anniversary gifts. A couple of years later, we had 2 children. New chapter in life, new challenges. However, these challenges are nothing compared to the adorable memories you get from these early childhood years. I remember my 4-year-old son. He was sitting up in the barber's chair, getting ready for his first ever haircut. And the barber asked, so, what kind of hairstyle would young Eric like? And before I could answer, Eric shouted out, punching his fist in the air, I want a hairstyle like my daddy's! After the haircut, we walked home and we played our favorite game. Stopping on the railway bridge, waving down at the trains, trying to get a reaction from them. The first 2 trains, the drivers looked up, they gave us a wave and a toot toot on the horn. The 3rd train, the driver looked up, he scowled. There was no wave. There was no toot toot. I was furious. I was clenching my fists, having my first case of railroad rage. And then young Eric looked up at me with his furrowed brow, and he said, Daddy, the train horn must have been broken. These are some of the general challenges that we visit, we understand during our lifetime, but sometimes there's the big challenges come along. Death in the family, chronic illness, public speaking. 17 years ago, I came to this corporate office. I was scared to death of standing in front of an audience. My anxiety level was off the scale. I wasn't able to sleep before a presentation. And on one morning before a really important presentation, I got in my car and I started to drive away. And the next minute, brown liquid started flowing down the windshield. I was so tired I had left my coffee mug up on top of the car. And that was the day I decided I needed to do something about it, and that's the day I joined a Toastmasters Club, this Toastmasters Club, and I've been here ever since. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, life, it is going to hand us challenges to deal with. But we all need to learn to turn them over, put the negative behind us, look for the positive outlook, look for the humor, and get inspired by wise and positive thinking people, whether they're 4 years old or whether they're 94 years old. Madam Toastmaster.